The mayors have recently, actually today, come together to vote that there should not be uh, major gatherings on Undas. In fact, I think they're banning going to cemeteries altogether. Uh, you agree that that's a wise move, considering, I mean, it's an age-old tradition.
I think Father should comment on that because he's the priest. So he's the one who's gonna supervise the prayer.
So, um, so the typical answer for mass gatherings is that mass gatherings are possible. People can maintain minimum health standards of social distancing with masking and with shields. The challenge, of course, is that this is going to be incredibly difficult here in the Philippines. So my mother is from Bicol, and this week is their fiesta. And what they had to do for Our Lady of Peña Francia is they had to lock down Naga to prevent people from coming, millions of people from descending on Naga for her feast day. And I think the Mother of God understands because she loves her children. She understands that sometimes you cannot visit your ina if this is going to cause a lot of illness. And I think the same thing happens here for All Saints and All Souls in November, right? So our deceased loved ones, they know more than we now. They hopefully in the sight of God, so they understand that we are fighting a once in a century pandemic. Many of them remember when they went through the pandemics in their day and age. So when you have a supernatural perspective, I think the Lord understands, but we have to, and I think that we have to move our celebrations and our prayer to the home, right? So, and even here we have to be very careful because you have to shield Lolo and Lola. And the danger is that you will go to your Lolo and Lola's house and without proper precautions, and you will bring the virus with you. So I think, there is a legitimate place, of course, for prayer, especially now. But this should not, we are still called to be reasonable people, especially as for Catholics who are called to have a balance between faith and reason. The Lord will understand. You can explain, and our loved ones will understand, those who have gone before us. Like I said, I found out from my mother that her lolo died in the cholera pandemic in the Philippines in 1907. So we have loved ones who died from the pandemics in the past, primarily cholera. So I went and did research on this, and the Philippines, especially at the beginning of the 20th century, had multiple instances of pandemics in many provinces where thousands of people died. So now I found out, including my great lolo. So I think that, like I said, as a priest, we pray, but we are careful as well.
But Father, perhaps it's not God or the saints who have to have understanding. It's the public. It's the people who have to be able to understand this. Because a lot of it is also cultural and behavioral. People go to the cemeteries because it's been a practice, it's been tradition. In fact, they celebrate nga Araw ng Patay on November 1, which is not even All Souls Day, diba? So it's more of a problem of people understanding more than, I suppose, more than the people in the heavens understanding what we're doing.
Well, honestly,
and how do we address that?
I think this is where the church has to have her voice, because I think this is where the church should speak, and the bishops of the Philippines should make it very clear that to the people that it is not, you are not in any way being disrespectful to your deceased loved ones, and that for the sake of everyone around us, we have to social distance. And like I said, in Naga, they locked down the city for the entire novena to prevent people from mass gathering. And so the question has to be addressed about whether or not maybe it might be important to close cemeteries during these days to prevent people from gathering in them in a way that makes it difficult to control social distancing.
That's a good idea, no, for the church itself. for the
Oh,
church
yeah,
leaders themselves to actually make
she
the
it's her she has because you know, if the government says it, the people will
Yes.
not listen. But if the bishops and the priests say, look, you know, this is the time when we have to make sacrifice, um, and for the sake of the country and for the sake of all of us, and then you have a conversation between the church and the government, and the civil authorities can close the cemeteries, and the church can explain to the people that this would not be a problem. There are good reasons why we have to do this year, and we can hope for a wonderful celebration next year, double the amount of celebration.